Very good morning to all. We are almost in the end of this course. We have another 2 more days to go. Today, I'm happy to welcome our esteemed speaker for the day, Dr. Nilesh Amritkar. So, all the entrepreneurs we met and those who shared with us, they are all shared their journey as they made some product, as they made some medicine, or they made some particular product, or like they are making a biogas plant and so on and so forth. But with Dr. Nilesh, it's a different story. He's like how to make service as a entrepreneurship material. He's managing director of one of India's leading environmental analytical agency, EnviroCare Labs, which is situated in Mumbai, and then they have branches in Pune, and then in Bangalore, near Bangalore in Tumkur. So it's a environmental consultancy agencies for food testing, and then various environmental related samples. So Dr. Nilesh is having a PhD on food and fermentation department, which is now of Mumbai University, which is now Institute of Chemical Technology. And last almost more than 22 years, he is in developing this organization called EnviroCare Labs. So I will share the websites, and you can check their portfolio. It's like they're addressing a wide range of environmental and food testing. He also represented various national and international committees which dealing with food and environmental analysis. And I just checked Dr. Nilesh LinkedIn. So he also like to write various articles. I really like this article on environmental pollution and monitoring, because I work on environmental monitoring. That is my research area, and using bioindicators, particularly diatoms. So when I was just I started reading about his profile, then I got diverted by this article, and I ended up reading this article. So with this short introduction, I will welcome Dr. Nilesh Amritkar and share his experience to our participants today. Welcome, sir, and it's over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Bala, for the very nice introduction, short and sweet. And I was actually wondering that how come you have not asked me for my resume? But it is good that made you research on to my profile from LinkedIn, and I think you fairly covered most of the points. So that is again one important sign of an entrepreneur. Like you are put into something, you have not given the data that is required to execute it, but it is expected that you still execute it to the fullest. And I think you did a fantastic job. So you already are an entrepreneur, and that you are leading this program as a faculty, I think a commendable job. So compliments to you, and compliments to even Dr. Prashant Dakefalkar for initiating this kind of activity for the students of biotechnology and the allied fields. The PKC, that the Pune Knowledge Center, and the Agarkar Research Institute, something very interesting. And I recollect when I was doing my PhD in UDCT, there was always a need felt that many of the science graduates or PhDs are unable to make it to the entrepreneurial journey just because they are not oriented toward the concept of entrepreneurship. How to manage a business, how to start a business, and how to execute a concept which is not just a simple operation when you are as an employee, but a more holistic operational excellence that you need to put across in your company. So That time our director, I remember Dr. Joshi, and the earlier director MM Sharma, Professor MM Sharma, came up with this concept of starting postgraduate, no, certificate program in chemical technology management. And that gave us deep insights into HR, finance, economics, project proposals, banking, concept of uh, what are the company acts or labor laws, how do you have empathy towards your colleagues, how do you do vendor management, supply chain, product quality, marketing, branding. So many things are involved to really make you an entrepreneur. So I always say that entrepreneurship is very much like biotechnology. How biotechnology is an interdisciplinary science, and entrepreneurship is an interdisciplinary science, art, and commerce. So many times, like biotechnology guys, they are all jack of all trades, master of none. Similarly, an entrepreneur is also jack of all trades, master of none. But having said this, on a lighter note, on serious note, I would say, like biotechnology, you have to be a master of something when you are jack of all trades. Likewise, in entrepreneurship, also you have to be master of all. It is ultimately it is about managing people, managing processes, managing products, managing business, and at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, you need to create value either in terms of money, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of something good for you, your people, your ecosystem. So entrepreneurship, again I would repeat, is jack of all trades and master of all. And some of the most important characteristics which probably would have been covered earlier with most of the topics that I could see on your agenda. Very big speakers came and spoke to you guys, and I'm sure they would have covered a lot of things like the passion, the resourcefulness, the willingness to improve and listen to others, ability to take risk, strong determination to always succeed is what makes up an entrepreneur. So entrepreneur is a very complex recipe. It is not a simple dal rice, but probably it's a mixture of a khichdi, which has all the ingredients. Sometimes तीखा बनना पड़ता है, sometimes थोड़ा मीठा बनना पड़ता है, sometimes थोड़ा spicy, sometimes थोड़ा tangy, sometimes. So these characteristics are what you need to behave with your ecosystem. You have to be stern sometimes, you have to be very docile, you have to be very humble sometimes, you have to be keep your ego aside, you have to put your sometimes head down, bow down, and take a step back. तो कभी कभी ऐसा, वो बाजीगर का जो डायलॉग है वो भी जो हार कर भी जीतता है उसे ही बाजीगर कहते हैं. एंड इन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप आल्सो इट इज लाइक दैट, जो हार कर भी क्रिएटिव क्रिएशन करता है, या जो हार के भी जो वैल्यू क्रिएट करता है उसे ही एंटरप्रेन्योर कहते हैं. So these are some of the points which I wanted to initially talk to you about. And then I have made a presentation. So the presentation, I'll just put on my slide, the first slide of my presentation. So is it visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the topic that I thought about is entrepreneurship creating value. And I have given it a name, Reverie. So Reverie is a French word of putting your thoughts, some beautiful thoughts, some not so beautiful thoughts, in a manner in which you would be able to communicate to the audience. So the whole presentation is about, I don't know how many slides I have made because I made it yesterday night, trying to compile my different slides and aspects of what I have written. So what I have done is there are about 25-30 slides, and all those slides contain the photographs which I have taken. So 95% of the photographs that you will see is what I have taken the photographs, and 90% of the things that have been written are the thoughts which I have penned down. So one important characteristic of an entrepreneur is to have passion or a hobby which is actually going to help you cross over the hurdles that you come across as a business person. And it is always said that it is lonely at the top. Believe me, it is very true. When you are an entrepreneur, I'm not discouraging you or I'm not frightening you, but what I'm trying to put across to you is if you are going to start the journey of entrepreneurship, you should be in a position to understand your own self first. Then only you will be able to understand others. Second is you should be in a position to take risk. Again, a dialogue in the Scam of 1992 serial, the OTT platform serial, इश्क है तो रिस्क है या रिस्क है तो इश्क है, whatever that dialogue. It's very true that अगर आप रिस्क लोगे तो आपका जो बिजनेस की तरफ आपका जो इश्क है वो उतना ही खुलेगा, उतना ही फलेगा जितना आप रिस्क लोगे. Risk, of course, are of different types: calculated risk, risk which is manageable risk. So but risk is a very important constituent of an entrepreneur, and that's the reason why you are always lonely at the top, because when everything fails you are responsible, and when everything succeeds the ecosystem is responsible. And unfortunately no one would give you credit for what good things happen, but everybody would be talking to you that अरे ये तुम्हारे कारण गलत हो गया, तुम्हारे कारण प्रॉब्लम हो गया. And you need to get used to these things. I am not, again, please do not misunderstand me at all. I am not saying that it is from a discouraging point of view. I am talking to you from the encouragement, motivation point of view, that you need to have it inside you. It has to be within your heart and within your mind that you are to decided, you have decided to start on a journey of entrepreneurship. And the best kick that you will get, जो नशा आता है as an entrepreneur, is when you see the ecosystem around you flourishing, the things that you have created, the value you have created to your ecosystem, be it your customers, be it your vendors, be it your staff, be it your own family members, be it yourself. When you see the value that you have created, that is, I think, the वो अलग नशा है for an entrepreneur, which keeps you running. So for you guys, these are some of my thoughts. And okay, this is the first. So starting with lighting of the lamp. I know in the digital era, it is very difficult to physically light a lamp now. But my slide talks about this concept that what one knows is finite. अपने को उतना ही पता है जितना अपने को सिखाया गया है, अपने को उतना ही पता है जितना हम लोगों ने पढ़ा है. बट जो हम लोगों ने नहीं पढ़ा है, जो हम लोगों ने नहीं सीखा है, is infinite. Where the known ends, learning begins. And I would say, I don't know how many of you know the word keep walking. It's a tagline of one of the brand which gives you that kick or the nasha. I would say keep learning. And one important aspect for an entrepreneur is to learn, unlearn and relearn, because whatever you have learned today is something what you have to unlearn tomorrow, and something which you have to relearn day after tomorrow. So keep learning, my friends. So continuing with the prayer, this is a photo that I have taken in Kenya. The evening so calm, praying with folded palm. Let there be smiles, let it be for all miles. The night so starry, imploring the heavenly Lord, let there be life, let it be for all bright. The morning so light, invoking the All Might, let there be food, let it be for all good. So, an important characteristic of an entrepreneur is to be humble. It's very difficult to be humble. It needs practice, and it needs forced practice to be humble. And when you look at the nature, I think it is one of the most dominating factor which makes you feel humble. And another thing is the ecosystem that you live should always be benefited because of your actions. And this is what these 3 lines talk about. Again, when I'm talking about nature, you see the mountains so high, standing so tall, the rivers so live, flowing all odds, the ocean so deep, encompassing all, the jungle so dense, providing for all, makes me wonder who we are, what we are, and why we are. So this is a question that we need to ask as an entrepreneur to ourselves, that we at sometimes we have to uh, benchmark ourselves to the mountains, stand very high, stand so tall among the ecosystem that they will see you as a lighthouse. You should behave like a river, lively always, flowing through all the odds, managing your ways across the mountains, across the lands, and go into the river or go into the ocean, join the ocean, which is so deep and it encompasses all. It takes into everything that is thrown into it. And it may be good things, it may be bad things. And that's a characteristics of an entrepreneur, that whatever is put down across onto your head, you need to just soak it, absorb it. The jungles are so dense, and you have to be so dense, you have to be so value creator, that you should be provider for all. You yourself are probably the last person to eat the pie. So this is something which is very difficult at the start of your entrepreneurial journey. It might be that you want to do it for yourself, ye mere liye, ye mere liye. But as you go through the journey, you would understand, you would realize that you are a provider for many people, and that's a big responsibility. And when you look at the nature, and when you look at your entrepreneurial journey, it makes you wonder that what is your responsibility, what is your role, why are we over here on this planet? It might sound very philosophical, but one important aspect for an entrepreneur is to be philosophical, and that is what guides him to be a successful entrepreneur. I hope you guys are with me up till now. Can I have your voice, please?
Sorry, sir.
I hope you all are with me on the few slides that I have shown up till now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We went to we lighted the lamp and went to Kenya and came back.
Oh, thank you. That's great. That's great. Now, after talking something about philosophy, I will talk about a story that has always guided me as an entrepreneur. And the story dates back to 1930, and the slide is about Rotary International and how it is associated with Rotary International. I will tell you through this story. So in the early 1930s, there was one entrepreneur called as Herbert Taylor, and he was the owner of a company called Club Aluminium Products, which was a distribution company, a very successful company in those days, but was on the verge of bankruptcy. He believed himself to be the only person in the company with over 250 employees who had hope. So when everybody had lost the hope, he was the person who started thinking about recovery plan, changing the concepts of the company, changing the ethical climate of the company. And he explained to himself, the first job was to set policies for the company that would reflect the high ethics and the moral god or moral good that is representation of the business. If the people who worked for Club Aluminium were to think right, everything would be done rightly. What we need was a simple and a guide to conduct yourself in a right manner, a sort of an ethical yardstick, which the company employees could memorize and apply in their day-to-day activity for their thoughts, their work, their talk, everything that they do. So he was thinking of some lines, some questions, some sentences, some words, something which would be catchy, which would be acting like as a guidance for the people to take decisions. Because in a company, most of the time, it happens that people do not take decisions and leave the decisions to the entrepreneur, to the top management. And here, just digressing from the story that I'm telling you, entrepreneur is not just about starting your own business. Okay, entrepreneurship is also reflected as an employee. If you are a good employee, you have to be entrepreneurial in your work. And whatever aspects that I talked about earlier, and whatever aspects that I'm going to talk to you later in these slides, is not only for an entrepreneur who is a businessman or who is an owner of a business, but it is also for an entrepreneur who is into employment. So coming back to the story, Taylor did research lot of books, he read lot of things, he wrote down lot of things, and tried to arrive at few sentences. And again, this is a good habit for an entrepreneur to write the things down. And what he wrote was these four questions. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And he called it as a four-way test. So whatever decision you have to take, whatever action that you have to do, whatever words you have to say to somebody, you need to ask these four questions to yourself. And he called it as a four-way test. The first thing that he did was he used it on himself. So he asked all these questions to himself and his business, that why is his business really going down? Why his company, which was once a very flourishing company for almost 10-15 years, why it has gone to bankruptcy? And when he started asking questions on the various fronts, he started getting actions that were very beneficial to the company. And in about 60 days time, he could see that he is making a difference. And it is not that he asked these questions to only himself and he kept it to himself. He called his all the other directors, he called his senior level members, he called his core team members, team building, and started discussing and talking to them on these four lines, and validated their responses. So he evolved it, but he validated it. He shared it with his team. That's a big learning. And when they validated, they evolved it further and made it very a strong four-way test. So finally, after about a year or so of implementing various things, the company actually started gaining back their lost glory. And in about 2 to 3 years time, they were completely out of the bankruptcy, and the four-way test continued to be their guiding principle for the next 20 years. So on the other side, Taylor was also a member of a local Rotary club. And while discussing and sharing his knowledge and his entrepreneurial journey with the colleagues in Rotary International, that local club, he talked about this four-way test. And then the people in Rotary thought that this could be a very well concept that they could implement across the globe. Okay, and how Rotary can also grow using these four principles what would be the guiding principles for its members to come. And now today, with more than 300,000 members across the globe, with more than 3,000 clubs across the globe, everybody follows these 4 principles. And again, a very typical characteristic of an entrepreneur is he did not trademark this. He just gave the copyrights to the Rotary International that you use it. And if it is going to be beneficial to all concerned, if it is going to build goodwill and better friendship, it is going to be talking truth, let it spread across the globe. And then finally, in 1940s, late 1940s, Rotary International copyrighted this and made it as an official 4-way test of Rotary International. So a very beautiful, interesting story, and very related to being an entrepreneur. And I have always, I'm not a Rotarian now, but I used to be a Rotarian in earlier days. And I still follow these Rotary principles in my business, even after 10 years of living Rotary. So this is the story, but going through the Google, now this is not my photograph. This I copied from Google. And I was just trying to search the Google definition of entrepreneur, and just for academic purpose, a person who sets up a business or businesses taking on the financial risk in the hope of making profit is an entrepreneur. So just a technical definition, but I think we have tried to define entrepreneurship in more philosophical way and from more perspective, which probably it will resonate between you and me. Now, going ahead, I had tried to coin 4 terms which are very characteristics of a entrepreneur, and tried to put it as iPhone का I जैसा रहता है, just to attract attention of people, I, and N is Nilesh, because I have coined it, the wordings and the concept. Therefore, it is intuition, intention, inspiration, and innovation. I think these are the 4 pillars of being an entrepreneur, being a businessman, or being a very good employee, also a very successful employee. Again, as I've told you earlier, that every employee or every successful employee has to be an entrepreneur. And now, what are these? Intuition, intention, inspiration, and innovation. This is a photograph that I have taken at the Chamundi Hills near Mysore. We have learned gravity, we have learned electromagnetism, nuclear sciences, all are these forces of nature. Whereas metaphysics is something which we don't study. And we had to take support of metaphysics when we are trying to understand the mind of an entrepreneur. Intuition is one of the forces of nature, and intuition can be strong or weak depending upon what is your intention or who is your inspiration. Okay, intuition cannot be created, neither be destroyed. It is just there, it just pops out somewhere in your mind when your intention is good, when your inspirations are very powerful, and it determines whether this intuition will manifest into existence. That means your intuition, if it manifests into creative existence, it all depends upon your intention and inspiration. And when this intuition is strongest of all the forces that are acting on the mind of a person, the nature conspires to manifest into what I call as innovations. So I would correlate this into more simple terms. This might sound to be very heavy at a younger age, but to put it simply, please remember the dialogue of Shah Rukh Khan in Om Shanti Om. अगर कुछ चीज सच्चे दिल से मांगो तो पूरी कायनात एक हो जाती है आपको वो दिलाने के लिए. So I am not a good dialogue deliverer like Shah Rukh Khan, I am a normal, humble human being called Nilesh Amrutkar. So please excuse me for the poor dialogue delivery, but please understand the concept that if your intuition is stronger, which is based on your intention and inspiration, you would be able to create innovation because the nature will conspire to manifest success with you or within you. So this is something related to mind, and I have few lines on mind. Mind sees more than the eye. Mind loves more than the heart. Mind feels more than the touch. Mind is stronger than the muscles. Mind is mission. Mind is love. Mind is care. And mind is power. Mind it. So again here, taking cue from Bollywood, or I would say here Collywood, not Collywood, what it is called as Chennai, Hollywood is called, Bollywood is called as, I don't remember what is. So mind it is words that have been used very often by none other than our Thalaiva, mind it. So your mind is such an important aspect of a successful entrepreneur. Going ahead, this is not my photograph, but this is something which I loved the symbol. How many of you would be able to correlate this symbol to? Anyone can answer this quickly? Hello?
Audience are in mute only. Only during the question answer session we can.
Okay,
Sorry.
fine.
So,
So
but,
maybe they can put in the chat box.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they are putting in the chat box.
Yes. Tollywood, yes. Okay, I just put the chat box on just now. So Tollywood was what the word I wanted to use, minded. Thank you, Shubhangini. And Purnima and Purnima and Rohan, some of you have answered my question very correctly. It is about Lord Vitthal. So that's the Tila on the Lord Vithala. And Karthik, you are partially right, I would say, or rather, Dr. Karthik, you are partially right. It is a Google Map location. So I had tried to correlate when I saw Panduranga's Tila. I could correlate to that. That's the destination for the ultimate destination for any human being. And probably Google must have copied it after looking at visiting Pandharpur. So mind is the ultimate God, mind is the ultimate energy, mind is the universe. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share with you with respect to the mind, and mind is the most important part of any entrepreneur. So again, going ahead slightly deeper, I would say, yeah, I would say that mind is like the mind, that energy is like Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. Brahma is the creator, everyone knows it, correct? And intuition is also creator. Intuition is like Brahma, or Brahma is like intuition. Okay, it gives birth to innovation. I explained to you in my earlier slide how this intuition, intention, inspiration, and innovation are related to each other. Vishnu is the maintenance god, and it is the inspiration. It supports your innovation. And Mahesh is the transformer. Some call also it as destroyer, but I would term it more positively as a transformer. Okay, it's a transformer of your intention. The good transforms the innovation into creating value, and that is exactly what entrepreneurship is all about. So finally, I would say that we need to trust our mind, train our mind, and transform our mind so that we are able to trust ourselves, train ourselves, transform ourselves, so that we are able to trust our ecosystem, train our ecosystem, transform our ecosystem. Ecosystem constitutes of all the stakeholders of your business, be it vendor, be it your employee, be it your colleague, or be it your shareholders, be it your end use customer. Customer's customer is also your customer. Okay, if I am making a product, if I am making a brake, okay, of a car and selling it to say Maruti, Maruti is not my customer. The person who has purchased the car of Maruti is actually my customer. So customer's customer. So we need to have a trust and understanding about all the stakeholders of your business, get trained from them and transform yourself, transform your product, transform your services so as to meet the ultimate objective of the use of your product or service. So here I am correlating this to the quality, the definition of quality. Whatever you use judiciously and the customer or the person who is using your product or service feel happy about it, that's quality. Very simple. This is a photograph that I have taken from my own building, my balcony. I could see the Yaur Hills, and this is a view of the Yaur Hills in Thane. So this is courtesy Google. If you are within your comfort zone, you would be happy, no doubt about it. But whether you would be able to encompass or create value, there are question marks, there are explanation marks, and it is always, the magic lies always outside your comfort zone. So with the kind of eyes that I have expressed across to you, I hope to open the eyes of all the people, participants over here, so that the magic happens and it gets reflected not only in your eyes but in your business. This is a photograph on taken near Auli Nandi Hill Range when we had gone trekking. And again here, the known creates a sense of pride. Looking at these mountains, looking at the work that you have done, you would always feel proud about the work that you have done. But when you look at the mountains, which are, after looking at your hills, you feel proud. But when you look at the Himalayas, you actually feel very humble because it's so much unknown. The unknown breeds humility. So very important characteristic for an entrepreneur to succeed. This is one slide which I have copied from Google Images. And while I looked at this particular photo, it reminded me of being an entrepreneur. Very interesting learnings from this photograph. I have just jotted down the few lines. It is not about small or big business. It is not about any product or any service. It is about doing things differently. It is about thinking out of the box, and it is all about customer experience. What is the satisfaction that you are going to give to your customer? Quality. I hope this slide would make sense to you guys in your entrepreneurial journey. Yeah. So this is a slide or a photo which I have taken in Ladakh while traveling across the Nubra Valley. And while looking at this photograph, I was wondering that there are so many ups and downs in an entrepreneur's life, and every day is a tough day. You, of course, get to see a lot of things which motivates you, but then what is a self-motivation that you could actually write down as an entrepreneur? So I have written this for myself. Maybe I am sharing this with you. It might be useful to you guys. I consider the 7 days of the week as dandy, dazzling days of the week, and every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I have associated it to one word. Mondays are to be motivational. Tuesdays are to be transformational. Wednesdays are to be wonderful. Thursdays are to be triumphant. Fridays are to be fantastic. Saturdays are to be successful. And Sundays are to be serene, peace, calm. So that Monday morning, you are again back with all your motivation to face the world, face the challenges of your business, and do an excellent job for the ultimate Sunday calmness that you want to achieve, or the ultimate success that you want to achieve by Saturday, or the ultimate fantastic moments that you want to achieve by Friday evening. Feel very much achieved sense of wonderfulness by Wednesday and Thursday, and do all the transformation right through the week starting from Tuesday. So this is something which I have coined for myself, and I'm sharing this with you. Now, when we are talking about business, we talked about the entrepreneurial journey, the mindset of an entrepreneur, the challenges that an entrepreneur face, and how do we actually think about customers and customers' customer, or the stakeholders of your company. Something that you always are going to be challenged with are your competition. People who are going to copy you, people who are going to follow you. But believe me, the competition is something which you should use positively to benchmark yourself, to feel proud about the fact that the competition is copying you, because people will always copy success stories. People will not copy what has gone wrong. So it gives you a very good feeling that people are copying, and this happens in every entrepreneur, with every entrepreneur, because at some point of the time we have also copied. I would not say that time that we have copied, we would say that we have been inspired to do such thing by so and so person or so and so competition. But then I have coined something, passion cannot be copied, success cannot be copied. Only original hard work with passion and purpose helps a successful living or a successful business. And original तो शेयर ही होता है, बाकी तो सब कॉपी कैट है, और कॉपी तो कॉपी कैट ही कॉपी को कॉपी कैट ही कहते हैं. So this is something which I have coined, and this is a photograph that I have taken in some jungles of Kenya. It's the sher, a very close up with a very mesmerizing eyes, and this is what represents an entrepreneur. Now, coming to creating values to what an entrepreneur works throughout their journey. They need to create value for customer, for employees, for shareholders, for vendors, and for the entire world. So again, you can correlate this to the 4 questions or the 4-way test, the story that I told you about Rotary International. Are we creating the right value to our stakeholders is something which we need to ask. So you can create a value without capturing the value, or you can capture more value while creating less, and you can't capture value without creating it. So a bit of complex words. These are not my words. Let me be very frank with you. This I have read somewhere and I just noted down and try to reframe it, because every time I read these sentences, I get some meaning out of it, and it helps me in my journey as an entrepreneur. But the next slide, which talks more details about creating values to your stakeholders, is creating a network effect, building a brand strength, developing efficient operations, monetizing the users, pricing effectively, providing liquidity to shareholders, and capturing the value. So this is something which I am going to, I have jotted down certain things, and I'm going to read out those things to all of you. So creating a network effect. Okay, some products become exponentially more valuable with more users. Okay, the classic example in earlier days is a telephone. So if there would have been just one telephone, a very good discovery, very good innovation, would it be worth? There will be no other person to whom we have to call. But that one phone becomes more valuable as more and more phones are placed into service. The most recent examples are of Facebook, Twitter, and other social media sites. So some of these companies created billions of dollars of value even before turning into profit, because of sheer numbers of users that they have been able to attract. Last month or last couple of months example is that of Zomato. The kind of valuation that the company has got is so high. For last 4 years they are running into huge losses, and I don't think so that they would be making profit for the next 10 years also, but still their share value is something at the top, and they have pulled the share market to a level where they have created huge value to the creators of Zomato. Building brand strength. The stronger the brand, the more a customer is willingly to pay for a product. A brand is built over time through marketing and a reputation for high quality and good service. So Apple is always a good example. Apple phone cost about a lakh of rupees. Of course, the new model, the older models can come to at a lower cost. A Mercedes cost you a bomb. But then these are all an examples where the brand has become so strong that customers are willing to pay for that product. And how the brand has become strong, it is just because of they have understood their customer, understood their stakeholders, and they have created value to their product, the service that they are providing, and that is how they are now capturing the value by selling it at a very higher premium. Developing efficient operations. Manufacturers create value by selling a product for more than the cost of the material, labor, equipment need to produce the product. The more efficient the operations, lower the cost of production. Simple logic. जितना डालोगे उससे कहीं ज्यादा अपने को कमाने का है. As an entrepreneur, again as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, entrepreneur, as an employee, lower the cost of production, the more value is created. Value can be considered both as profit to the manufacturer, and value can also be considered as the utility of the customer relative to the price. Okay, because there are some products which are very cheap, but they are of immense value to the end user. So classic examples of some of the innovations that happened in COVID time was that of ventilators. The cost of ventilators came down from few lakhs of rupees to few thousand of rupees. Okay, it was innovation, it was creativity. They created that, and they captured the value not just in terms of price, but they captured the value in terms of saving lives. So I think this is something which we as entrepreneurs need to understand, that it is not every time money, it is far beyond money. Monetizing the users. Okay, the social media companies often struggle with capturing value. Twitter created enormous value by rapidly building a large user base. Similarly with Facebook and the other social media, but they have struggled to capture the value through monetization. On the other hand, Facebook stocks have been surging because they have found a very effective way to monetize through advertising. So no sooner you have Google, say entrepreneur or business or some product, and then you are on Facebook, Facebook will start showing you advertisements. Google will start showing you advertisements which are related to what searches you have done. And sometimes it makes me wonder that if I have spoken something very confidentially to somebody, even to own myself, I think that Google knows how we think. And Google starts, if I think about a car, just think without talking about it, I am seeing lot of advertisements about cars on Google or on Facebook. So I don't know whether that is Google's artificial intelligence, but I do believe in the intuition, intention, inspiration, and innovation, that when you are able to sharpen your skill sets on this, you sharpen your mind, lot of things starts happening to you the way you start thinking. So always think positive and always think good for yourself and for people. Coming to pricing effectively. Okay, the value of a strong brand and the efficient operations can't be captured if the product isn't priced appropriately. So again, Apple is a very great example. They earn high margins because of their brand strength and the quality product. And they protect these margins by controlling their high prices carefully across all distribution channels. So to an extent that the second hand Apple also is costly. Okay, and if at all it is not going to give value, money, they see that it is completely destroyed. So for a second hand Mercedes car, you will not get the value because Mercedes company don't want people to buy second hand cars. So this is how they are pricing it so effectively, that they are creating a strong brand image, they are developing efficient operations, they are creating a network effect so that they are able to price effectively. And the last point is providing liquidity to the shareholders. So a company can capture value by monetizing the users and pricing it appropriately. And then they can pass on that value to the shareholders by providing the ability to sell more valuable shares. This can be done in many ways. Profits can be distributed through dividends. Private companies often raise money at higher valuation and allow new investors to buy out existing investors. The goal of public companies is to allow investors to capture value by increasing their stock prices. So here the ultimate goal, the definition of Google or definition of any dictionary, that ability of a person to take risk so that he earns profits, is the only last point, providing liquidity to shareholders. Rest everything is all about philosophy. Rest everything is all about how an entrepreneur thinks through his mind and heart. So I think time is up for me. I have lot of slides still prepared, but I will quickly go through some of the slides. I will skip some of the slides so that we have time for some questions also. As an entrepreneur, we need to see darkness to light. We need to move from darkness to light. One has to always fight. The road would be rough. The road would be tough. The journey may be long. The journey need to be strong. Believe in yourself as an entrepreneur. Believe in yourself, and every milestone becomes a song. So this is a photograph in one of the monastery in the Himalayan region. Here, this is, sorry, this is a photograph taken in Kanyakumari, which talk, you have to be like this rock. It's a big rock ahead of the Swami Vivekananda Memorial Rock. And when the waves were lashing at it, I could see, I could represent that every entrepreneur is like this, that no matter what, everything will bounce, the government will bounce on you, pounce on you, the vendors will do it, the customers will do it, your stakeholders will do it. But you have to be like this small rock, stay solid, stay firm in this vast ocean of business and vast ocean of creating value. And at business, every customer is a teacher, every vendor is a teacher, every colleague is a teacher, every competitor is a teacher. It is our business to be a student, learn, unlearn, relearn, so that you can earn love, respect, and care. This is a photograph sitting on the beaches of Alibag, looking at the ocean. And when I just moved my head to the other side of the beach, I could see this beautiful scene, and this thought came to me that yaar, bahut seekhne ko hai. The nature teaches you a lot. As an entrepreneur, you need to dream big, dream powerful, plan your dreams, make action plans for the plans that you are making to see the success of your dream, so that you, at the end of the day, you get the results. This is a photograph in somewhere in the Himalayas, the topmost part of India. where it's very close to Kargil. I would say more closer to Siachen, not at the base of Siachen. And these are the points. Looking at this photograph, I could see that we need to have targets to go to this level where our soldiers stand. There has to be a plan. It has to be a routine for the people. Lot of learnings for an entrepreneur, that if you plan your target with proper procedures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 processes, and you do it in such a manner that it becomes like a routine thing for you, you will be able to get the achievement. So when I'm talking about the word routine, I remember the dialogue from Chandni Chowk to China, that I don't know how many of you have seen this movie, but the movie talks about the actions when they are learning Kung Fu, karate, and the teacher tells Akshay Kumar that मुझे वो एक मुंह से डर नहीं है जो आपने एक बार प्रैक्टिस की है, मुझे डर वो मुंह से है जो आपने 1000 बार प्रैक्टिस की है. So if you do your work in such a manner, in an efficient manner, routinely, the success is yours. Success will knock your doorstep very easily. Plan, do, act, and check. PDAC. These are the words that I have taken out directly from any ISO. You check any ISO systems, 9,000, 14,000, 18,000, 20,000, every ISO talks about plan, do, act, and check. So this is a universal proven phenomena which an entrepreneur can use. So finally, growth is not just profit. Growth is about sustainable care. Growth is about creating value. So I think I will end my talk over here because it is 11:30. I had time till 11:30. I will take in more questions. These are some of the slides which I will just skip through. When I have talked about sustainable care or we care, these are few lines for our security team. I am beating up all the odds, and I wrote this when at the time of COVID, people were not coming to the office or people were not coming to the lab, but the security had no option but to come to the laboratory, come to the office premises so that they can protect us, protect our infrastructure, protect our instruments, equipments. So I am beating up all the odds, making a success road ahead. I am not holding any gun, but allowing the show to run. So thank you to our security team, and our deepest gratitude and admiration to every person who helps build up an entrepreneur. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much. I am open to further questions. Dr. Karthik.
So people can either raise their hand, so and you can unmute yourself, or you can ask the question in the chat box. People have liked the session very much because they are giving a lot of compliments for the lecture. It was wonderful, motivational lecture, and a lot of poetic presentations. So people are very happy to listen to that. It is very encouraging for them.
Yeah, good morning, madam.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think Tushar Borse wants to ask something. Yeah, please go ahead.
Good morning, all of you. Yes, sir. Sir, it was really a very good lecture. It was an inspiring. My one question could be that how do we retain this inspiration? Because we are inspired, maybe it will remain for 1 hour or so, and after that we may forget the things what you have told. So how do we retain this inspiration throughout? Or how do we inculcate this practice in the students that they are inspired or they do these things continuously?
So a very good question, Dr. Borse, and a very pertinent question. And I tried to cover that in some of my slides when I gave you that example of मुझे वो चीज से डर नहीं है जो आपने एक बार प्रैक्टिस की है, मुझे वो चीज से, वो मुंह से डर है जो आपने 1000 बार प्रैक्टिस की है. So inspiration is not something that you will read once or see once and you will get inspired. You need to be surrounded by people who are inspirational, motivational. You need to be surrounded by books, by philosophies, by concepts which are going to inspire you every hour, every minute, every second of your life. And you then automatically become the source of inspiration. It's not a one time activity. जैसा आपने को रोज खाना पड़ता है, वैसा रोज इंस्पिरेशन का डोज लेना पड़ता है.
Very well said, sir. One person is asking, I think Mayuri Rege, she's asking, can you please comment on how you got customers to initially believe you in your services, since you are not selling a product but a service?
It is very difficult to create perception in the minds of people, especially when it comes to service. Product iPhone रहेगा तो कम से कम हाथ में देखने को मिलता है. But service that we are providing is the analytical services in food, environment and pharma related to chemical, microbiological analysis. So what people look at is only a piece of paper. So it is very difficult to create that perception, that want in the eyes of a customer. But there are small steps that you need to take and you need to keep on taking. Again, it is not a one-time activity. It is not just one activity. It needs to be looked at from a more holistic perspective. Like, how are you putting up your service? Okay, how are you putting it on platter? How are you treating your customers? How are you showing them? How are you guiding them? Are you addressing the pain points of the customer? Like in our service, the pain point is meeting the compliances. So most of our customers are not aware of the compliance requirements. So we need to study the law first. We need to study the regulation first and then educate our customers. Most of the customers are not aware कि अगर ये आया तो क्या है? What steps have to be taken? What needs to be done? Simply putting in medical terminology, अगर मेरा sugar बढ़ गया है, so it is very easy that you will go to a diabetologist. But then over here, there is no diabetologist in our service. Here we have to tell them that, okay, आपका sugar बढ़ गया है, आपका heavy metals आपके food product में ज़्यादा आ गए, तो आप ये करके देख सकते हो, this might help you. So here you are doing hand holding with your customer. Okay, so you can visit our LinkedIn profiles of EnviroCare Labs, of Center for Continuing Education and Research, of EnviroCare Proficiency Testing and EnviroCare Green Award. These are all 4 pages that have been done on LinkedIn, and you would see that what we are trying to project across every time with every post to our customer is that customer को क्या मिलेगा. हम लोग हमारे सर्विस के बारे में कम बात करने का, बट कस्टमर के बारे में बात करोगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली पीपल विल स्टार्ट वांटिंग टू यूज योर सर्विसेज.
Thank you, sir.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Shilpa,
Yeah, one more question.
Sheetal, one more question. Can you please take that?
Yeah, I will take it.
When we at the top position, we are alone. This is true, but sometimes our nearest person are not with us. Then how to tackle this situation?
I have faced this personally. My father passed away overnight. I still remember 6th of March, we were discussing that I wanted to do this and that, and ye karenge, wo karenge, aisa karenge, waisa karenge. And then 7th morning at 5:30, he was no more. He had a very strong heart attack and he was no more. So you lose person, your nearest, dearest persons. This is an extreme case I talked about, but in other aspects also, you may lose people who have been associated with you, who have been your employees for many, many years. You get attached to them, attached to the functioning day-to-day routine. But the ultimate objective, agar you don't deviate from your ultimate objective of creating value, then I think even if you are alone, you will still be giving to the society, you will be still giving back to the nature, you will be still giving creative value to creating value to your stakeholders, even if you are alone. So it is very difficult. You have to be emotionally very strong, and you have to be very objective in your deliverables. Focused. I think that one word I have not used in my presentation, a very important word. As an entrepreneur, we need to be very, 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 very focused.
Thank you, sir. So I think there are no more questions. Everybody is thanking the speaker. And if Karthik, we can plan and close this.
Sure.
We're
Yes.
very thankful to the speaker.
Yes. Dr. Amritkar, thank you so much, and thanks for sharing insights on your personal journey, more on the motivation side, and everything was from your heart, so it was reaching the audience very much. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your journey with us. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Dr. Karthik, and thank you, Dr. Shilpa, for inviting me. Please give my regards to Dr. Prashant Dakefalkar, sir.
Actually,
for
Sir was
inviting.
supposed to join. He had some urgent meeting, came at like 10 o'clock. So he said like, he will come in between. I will come. He said like, I'll just come and say hi to Nilesh.
No issues, no issues, no issues. Please give my regards. And for the participant, this is my email ID, my mobile number. You can connect with me anytime if you want to know anything about entrepreneurship or how you want to take up your business forward. I am always there to help support new entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, and create a quality India.
And any students who are working on environment related, like, please note down Dr. Nilesh details here in case if you are looking for some entrepreneurs, if you're looking for some internship with his company, please feel free to send a mail or contact him.
Sure, sure. And you can visit our LinkedIn profiles. Lot of data is there. Lot of articles have been written, which can be helpful to food guys, environment guys, pharma guys.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
Definitely. Thank you so much, participants. We will meet at 12 o'clock. So we'll close the meeting now, and then we will join after at 12. At 12, we'll join for the next presentation. And somebody asked about presentations. So we will not share the presentation, but we will. All these talks will be in YouTube. So you are feel free to visit and and
yeah. Thank you, Bala. I was to ask just now this very thing, that I wanted to have the recording of this session so that it could go into our YouTube channel also at a later point.
Absolutely no problem.
Sure.
Yeah, I will share the video
Okay,
with your
great.
email ID and all.
Great. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank you so much, all of you. I take your permission to leave this Zoom meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye. Participants, we will close the meeting now. We'll meet at after 10-15 minutes at 12 o'clock. We have the next session. Thank you.